Right, the knowledge of London is the toughest and most professional qualification for taxi drivers anywhere in the world. But I do wonder if you understand the urgency of getting more people, particularly young people, to study the knowledge, because according to figures I have from representatives in the taxi trade, the number of taxi drivers has gone down by 2,000 in the last 4 years, from about 25,500 to 23,500 today. And also the number of new students taking up and beginning the knowledge in knowledge schools has dropped precipitously from about 3,000 in 2012 to just over 600 today. You know, nearly an 80% drop. So if we don't get new people, particularly young people, into the trade will die and wither away on the vine. You know, you talked about a new brochure, which is great. You've talked about exploring possibilities of making it accredited with Ofqual, and that's something you said back in September 2016. The urgency of doing that is vast, it is huge. Have you got any kind of plan or specific date when that might happen? Or is it just discussions you've had?
Well, firstly, can I just commend you for your hard work in this area, and you're an ally in relation to us making sure we get this right. I know you organised an event in City Hall in July, and any recommendations from that, please pass on to the TfL team. It's in the gift of the regulator in relation to the accreditation. We're pursuing this, and we're hoping for some good news sooner rather than later. The advantage of formal accreditation is they can get study loans and the other benefits that brings, but also it's a kite mark that will give students who start the knowledge confidence of knowing there's something concrete they can show off in relation to recognition. We'll continue to pursue Ofqual to try and get that sorted out sooner rather than later.
Yeah. I mean, that is a very good point. Obviously, if it is accredited, then the students can get student loans. Do you think it would be more appropriate as like a degree apprenticeship or something different?
Well, it's not for me as somebody who's not done the knowledge to lecture those who've done the knowledge in relation to whether it's an apprenticeship or a degree type qualification. The reality is most degrees take 3 years, some now take 2 years. And when you see the hours those students who do the knowledge work, there are somewhat like more than students at universities. And so I can see the sense in doing so. The advantage is actually is vocational plus learning, and you'll know most modern degrees now moving towards that as well. So look, one of the things we will do is continue to lobby Ofqual to make sure we get this done sooner rather than later. But I want people who are thinking about doing the knowledge to know, once we've got the accreditation, this is formally recognised as a world leader, and that will hopefully give people confidence doing the knowledge.
Yeah, no. One of the things that did come out of my event was the issue of redlining. I'm not sure if you know what that is. Now, it's the knowledge has 6 stages, so you have to pass all 6 stages. Now, for example, you might pass stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Say you fail stage 3, then you have to go back to the beginning and do it again. But if you fail stage 3 twice, then you don't just have to go back to the beginning of stage 3, you drop down to the beginning of stage 2, for example. And then this was a system that was brought in 2000, when there were huge numbers of people beginning the knowledge, and I think someone had the bright idea of making it harder so that there will be fewer people graduating from the knowledge by introducing the system, whereas if you fail twice, you drop down to the level before you. Now, we're in a completely different situation. We don't have 7,000 or 8,000 people starting a year. We're lucky if we get 700 or 800. So that is something that students are telling me really does make it difficult and would make it easier and fairer if that was abolished and we went back to the pre-2000 situation.
Chair, can I, with your permission, take on board the suggestion from this member, and any other ideas you've got, I'm happy for the TfL team to raise this with them. I understand the importance of, as you do, of quality assurance, and that's one of the reasons why it would make sense to keep a level of certain attempts at pass, then you go down a level. Yeah. But if it simply is a filter process, it doesn't make sense at a time when there are fewer students starting the knowledge. So if I could take that idea away, but also make the offer, any other ideas you've got, we're really happy to work with you to make sure we try and arrest the drop of those doing the knowledge, and also, as you mentioned, the drop of those actually who are taxi drivers in London as well.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. The next